Hello everyone and welcome to this Google Digital Garage training session on Build Your Personal Brand Online. My name's Alison. I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, the Google Digital Garage. Just a bit about myself. I'm an experienced digital marketing specialist and trainer. I've got over 17 years experience in digital, including time working with thought leaders to help develop their personal brand online. So hopefully that will come in handy during this session. I would also like to introduce our moderator, Samantha. Samantha is also a Google Digital Garage coach and will be interacting with you and answering some of your questions to the instant chat on the right there. You can identify Samantha by their name and you should see a little blue spanner next to their name. So do say hello to Samantha. Samantha's going to be interacting with you in the chat, answering your questions, responding to your comments. We do like these sessions to be as interactive as possible, so get in the chat, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from today. Just before we get started, I just want to call out a few things to help you today. Firstly, if you're having any trouble at all viewing the webinar, please try refreshing your page. If you switch things off and back on again, you know that usually does the trick. Also, if you do want to join in the chat today, and we really hope you do, you will need a YouTube account. So you can set one up very easily by clicking on the box on the right there. Go away, set it up. It'll only take a minute and then you'll be good to go in the chat, firing away all those questions when I get started. I will pause through the session to answer any questions from the chat box. Samantha will be there answering, but if there's anything that's maybe a little bit longer, takes a bit longer to answer, or that they think is relevant to everyone to hear, Samantha will be passing those questions over to me. So do fire away with your questions throughout, and then I will pick up what I can in the question breaks during the session. And just to let you know, we're running this webinar today as part of a broader offering of courses. So if you'd like to check out our schedule of up and coming webinar training, please see information on this in the description below, which will link you through to the website. I'm sure Samantha will share that link with you as well in the chat. There's lots of other sessions that link really nicely with this one, things such as writing for social media and social media strategy, digital marketing strategy. They all sort of link in and work really nicely and complement each other. So do check those out, book on your next one so you've got something to look forward to after today. Okay. Housekeeping done, let's get started with Build Your Personal Brand Online. Now, if you've ever joined one of our webinars before, even if you haven't, we split them into 3 parts, and today is no different. So first of all, we're going to have a look at defining your personal brand. How do we identify good personal branding? What's your online presence all about? Then we're going to move on to building your brand online. So this is coming down to what platforms are you going to choose to use? What sort of content type are you going to put out there? What sort of writing? How are you going to write your all-important profile or bio? And then finally, we're going to look at increasing your visibility. How can you grow your network? How can you find and post relevant content? And how can you turn those online connections into offline opportunities? Just before I get started with that, we do want to highlight this free mentoring service that is available from Google. So Google Mentoring is available for small businesses and charities based in the UK. We hope you find today's webinar helpful, of course, but sometimes you want to go into things in a bit more detail, and this is going to give you the opportunity to sit down one-to-one for up to an hour to discuss any element of your business's digital presence. So these sessions are completely free, so it's a fantastic opportunity. You might end up on a session with myself or Samantha or one of our many brilliant team members who are going to be able to help you on a range of one-to-one digital skills. So this could be anything from building a digital marketing strategy to finding more customers online to, hey, building a personal brand. That's what we're talking about today. So if you want to go into any more detail in what we covered today, book onto one of these sessions. The link is g.co/UK mentoring. Do take advantage. This is a fantastic opportunity and it's free. Why wouldn't you? Amazing. Okay, let's get started with understanding your online presence and personal brand. So I'd just like you to, in the chat, if you can, if you're going to venture to be interactive with us, share what do you think of as a brand? What is a brand? We talk about brands a lot, but what does it actually mean? Do you have any brands that you buy regularly? If you do, why do you choose that brand? What is it about a particular brand that makes you buy it? What defines a brand? So this term brand that we throw around all the time, but what does it actually mean? So I'll give you a moment to share your answers. There is a bit of a delay, so I will continue. Let's talk about what I think a brand is. A brand, what I know a brand to be, is a type of product manufactured by a particular company under a particular name. That's the actual definition, but it is more than that. A brand is how products that are the same stand out from each other. So, there's thousands of different brands of trainers. They're all trainers, they're all shoes, they all serve the same purpose, but some of them are from Nike, Adidas, New Balance, whatever it is. They've got a brand that we buy into, we like to associate ourselves with. Why is that? Why do we sort of latch on to certain brands? Think about the brands you buy and why you do that. And it's usually because we want a connection with that brand. That brand we are relating to, it resonates with us. We feel an affinity with it. We want to be like that brand. So we're going to move on to ourselves as individuals and think about our own online presence before we get started with ourselves as a brand. But what about your online presence? What is your online presence? It's everything you do online. So think about what you do online. Do you have a social media profile? Do you have multiple social media profiles? Okay, why do you have a social media profile? What's your intention of having that presence online on a social media profile? Usually we have this presence because we want to communicate something about ourselves online. We have an Instagram account, we choose a photo to represent ourselves. We're putting out a message about ourselves, the way we want to communicate about ourselves online. So I'll ask you now, have you ever Googled your name? Anyone Googled their name? Of course you have. I'm sure most people have Googled their name. What comes up? Because your online presence is more than just your social media profiles. Your online presence is everything you do online. So your online presence includes content that you've created. So it could be photos you've posted on social media or status updates. It could be videos you've popped on TikTok. Anything you've created or YouTube that you've created and put online, that's your online presence. Could also be content you're tagged in. So have people tagged you in posts on social media or in comments or in photos? Or are you written about, are you mentioned in articles? And your internet activity is also your online presence. So everything you do online. So your internet activity isn't publicly searchable. So no one's going to be able to go and find, what you've been doing online if they just Google it. It doesn't contain any personal information. But your internet activity includes cookies. It includes your browsing history. It includes any online purchases you've done. And when you are online, things do sometimes log your IP address, your approximate location service provider. So there's lots of elements that form your online presence. And this is also called your digital footprint. And we need to be aware of what our digital footprint is comprised of, what makes up our digital footprint. What is there online about ourselves? Because we want to be aware of what's out there, because then we know what's going on. We don't want to be ignorant to our online presence, because if we leave it unchecked, this could be seen by anyone searching your name on search engines. So if you have Googled your name, did you ever come across something you would really rather wasn't there publicly? Have you ever seen posts tagged with you? You're like, oh, do you know what? Maybe I had a bit much to drink on that party and I'd really rather that photo wasn't out there online with me tagged in it. So we want to be aware, because there might be stuff that we want to control. We might want to say, hey, could you remove that? We might find that we want to look at our social media profiles and check our privacy settings. Have you done that? So checking what public people can see, or changing the settings so that only your friends and family can see posts rather than everybody. So check out after this session, not right now if you're off Googling your name, check out what your online presence is composed of. What content can you find? Have you come across stuff that you weren't aware was out there about you? So have a look afterwards, because then when you're aware of what your online presence and digital footprint includes, you can do something about it, or at least be aware. So what can you do about it? How do you clean up your online presence if you want to? How do you manage this digital footprint? So what we want here when we're building our personal brand is we want our digital footprint to reflect the best of us. So we want to delete any profiles or channels that we no longer use, outdated profiles you haven't touched in years or from when you were a teenager. We want to detag or request the removal of any third-party content that concerns us. So this could be people tagging us on social posts which we'd really rather weren't there. Please, could you not? And making sure that your social media settings are set so that people have to ask you before they tag you publicly, so that you give permission rather than it just being available for anyone to do. Keep your profiles private, or have a private profile and a public profile to make sure you know who's seeing your content and you're in control of visibility. So quick wins would be having a look through Google, look at the first 2 pages and prune the content, tidy up anything that you might want to remove or have detagged. There's a few tools as well that you can use to help you clean, monitor and privatize your browsing experience. I would recommend setting up a Google alert of your name, or if you've got a business, maybe your business name, so that you basically, if you ever for anything mentioned, losing my speech today. If your name is mentioned and is appearing in Google's index, you will get an email from Google Alerts alerting you when that comes up. So you can then go and check and go, oh, right, I didn't realize I was in that social post or that news article or that LinkedIn page, whatever it might be. So it's Google Alerts. If you go there, you can set up an alert. So it's, like it says, an alert email that gets sent to you when your name is mentioned online. Another tool you can use is Social Mention. This is a social media search tool, and it aggregates user-generated content from across the internet into a single stream. It's essentially a social media monitoring tool that allows you to track and measure what people are saying about your brand anywhere in the world in real time. So take a look at Google Alerts, take a look at Social Mention. There's other tools available such as Deceit Me, where you can go and have a look at, say, maybe any accounts you weren't aware that are still active that you hold, so that you can get them deleted. This is just about a tidy up, a spring clean of your online presence, as it were. So I've talked about online presence. It's everything you do online. When does that become a personal brand? So we're going beyond just what's on the internet about you to developing a personal brand. How does all this stuff where your name is mentioned become a personal brand? So do share any ideas with us in the chat. However, I know it's quiet today, so I will carry on and say an online presence becomes a personal brand when you start to create content that serves a common goal. So this is when you're actually creating content and with intent and being mindful of why you're doing it. A personal brand identifies who you are and how you differentiate yourself from your peers. So think about some well-known brands, well-known personal brands. Can you think of any people out there who have very strong branding? Could be celebrities, could be politicians, could be thought leaders that you follow online, influencers on Instagram. Think about some well-known personal brands. The difference between a brand, which is Nike, Adidas, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, whatever these brands are, the difference between a brand and a personal brand is that your product as a personal brand is your skills and your strengths. So your skills and your strengths form your personal brand, whereas a product or service forms the brand of a business. And a personal brand is how you represent yourself and differentiate yourself from everybody around you. We're all human beings. How am I going to stand out and be unique compared to every other human being on the planet? And then how am I going to create content with intent that shows that this is what I want to be known for? Strong personal brands allow you to build a career off what you've done before. So your experience, your skills, your strengths, they're all coming together here to create this very strong personal brand. So back to the celebrities or well-known personalities, think about really well-known figures, how you might describe their personal brand. So an example could be Madonna. So Madonna, highest selling female artist of all time, has a strong dedicated fan base for the past 30 years. And she's got a diva attitude. Yeah, that's all part of her brand. That's part of how she wants to be seen. What about Oprah, talk show host, actress, owner of her own production company, incredibly successful. Her opinion carries such weight that if she likes a book and recommends it, was known to sell out. And you've seen that with quite a few celebrities who have book clubs. Authors are desperate to get into their book clubs because they know if that celebrity endorses their book, they're going to have a bestseller on their hands. Oprah's one, there's Reese Witherspoon, there's many different examples here. But these personal brands are so powerful that they can influence product purchasing. On the other hand, a brand such as the Dalai Lama, despite living in exile, he's managed to be an inspirational figure worldwide, trying to sell you anything, but he's managed to inspire people spiritually across the world. So it's really helpful exercise to think about celebrities, think about words that describe them, and then apply that to yourself. What do I want my personal brand to be known for? So you can use your personal brand once you grow it to leverage offline opportunities. So we're talking very much about build your personal brand online, but your online brand can create opportunities in real life. And we've got two examples here. We've got Sarah Ritchie on the left and Sheena Maui on the right. So let's go to Sarah first. Sarah trained as a professional health and wellness coach in 2010. And then since then, Sarah was blogging fitness videos and workouts online, sharing what she was doing in fitness world and building a following. And she built such a following that she's now paid by fitness brands to wear their clothing and use their equipment. So this is an example of someone who's sharing content online, very much focused on what they do, on their skills and strengths, which in turn has then led to fitness brands wanting to work with her. They think they're the kind of, their brand wants to be associated with Sarah's personal brand. It works both ways. And then we've got Sheena on the right. So Sheena started their blog in 2016 to bring together all the food images she was posting on their social media pages. So delicious, beautiful looking pictures here. Sheena set up a blog and she started to receive questions and letters off her fan base requesting recommendations. Since then, Sheena's regularly receiving invites from restaurants to try their food in return for a review on their blog. So you've heard about this before. You start specializing, you start focusing on your strengths and your skills and creating content that people are engaging with and people start following. And in turn, that can lead to opportunities to work with other brands and businesses and collaborate in return for either free meals, clothing, payment, whatever it might be. It starts creating these opportunities offline as well as online. But your online personal brand matters, even if you're not trying to create a following and be an influencer and all of that. That's not what online branding, personal branding is about. We all have a personal brand, whether we like it or not. And our online personal brand really matters. So think about if you're looking for a job. The personal brand matters there, yeah? It doesn't matter if you want to be an influencer. It does matter your online brand, your personal brand, what people see about you if you're applying for a job or if you're a consultant and you want to get new clients. People look online, they research us. We've got information available at our fingertips and we do look up people we're going to work with. 69% of employers conduct social media checks. They'll look on your Facebook. They'll go to Facebook and they'll look for you. So what are they seeing when they click on your profile picture? Are they seeing all the parties and silly stuff that you might not want them to see? Or are they just seeing the posts that you've set to be public that show the best side of you? 89% of consumers aged 33 to 54 trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So in the olden days, we'd ask our friends and family for recommendations, or we might hear people on the TV or radio say, "Oh, we'll go and do this." Now we look at reviews. I know I do. If I'm traveling, I'm looking at the reviews before I book a hotel, before I book a restaurant. I'm checking out on Google Business Profile, how many stars has it got? oh, it's got really low stars, it's going to influence where I go. So employers, relationships, all of these interactions we have in real life are influenced by our personal brand online. Now, 69% of employers in a YouGov survey said they wouldn't check a potential candidate's social media when they would check social media when making decisions around hiring. And 1 in 5 have said they haven't hired someone because of what they found. 1 in 5 employers haven't even gone on to probably interview a candidate because of what they've seen on social media. They also say in a study of 2,000 American dating app users that 77% of people said they researched a date online before they met the person face to face. Have you ever done that? I saw them talking about that the other day as well on TV. We are researching. We're researching people before we meet them. We're checking out all their profiles. The information is available to us. So we want to make sure what people see when they're searching our name is the side of us that we want them to see. So talking about personal brand, online presence, what we need to do is have a goal. Yeah, because a goal gives us purpose. So a goal will give your personal brand purpose. So what's the goal? What's our intention? What do we want to achieve? I want to do this because of this. We need to give ourselves a goal. So these 3 personal trainers all have a goal. And these goals or these objectives can really shape a personal brand. So we'll just go through some of these examples. We've got A, we're back to Sarah Ritchie. We've got B, we've got Lean Fitness, and we've got C, Justin Cooper. Now, these are all fitness brands, but even just looking at those pictures there, you can see that they have a different way of communicating, a different voice. So they have different goals for their presence online. So I'm going to reveal the answers to you to show you how their goals differ. So we've got Sarah at A. Sarah is results driven. Sarah is using social endorsements and hardcore workouts to show that they get results. So Sarah is very much showing the results of her hard work. So you could say her goal is satisfaction because she's wanting authentic social endorsements. She's demonstrating her skill and expertise. She's got good reach, which suggests popularity. Now, B, this is from a website, Lean Fitness. And it's not so much a personal brand, is it? Lean Fitness. It's more of a business. It's more of a business name here with Lean Fitness. So B is more quality driven. They're using a website to demonstrate professionalism and promoting a variety of services. So professional website, they're highlighting what their clients say, so the customer reviews. They're offering more than one service with personal training and boot camps. So it's a very different look and feel to A, where with Sarah, I think it's more human, you're relating to a person. With the middle one, Lean, it's more distance between the people. You can see, it's a very professional service. So it depends on the relationship with customers that we're wanting to have as well. See Justin here. Justin is relatable. He's sharing photos, not just of fitness, but of himself enjoying himself. He's going to show he can motivate you, but not as intensely as a personal trainer. His life's not just about the personal training. So he's humanizing his brand. Now, which of these might you find more appealing? A may be more appealing, Sarah, to more fit people who are really heavily focused on fitness, whereas Justin might want to be more focused sort of people who want a bit of fitness with a bit of lifestyle change as well. I'm sure one of these will appeal to you more than the other. And there's a reason for that, because of the messaging and look and feel that they're putting across. When we're talking about a goal, what's your goal? Because identifying a goal can impact your personal branding in the context of your work search, of your professional life. So here we've got 2 examples of a LinkedIn profile, and you can see how different it looks when we add a goal. So this is Fatima. Fatima uses LinkedIn occasionally to find roles and personal use. Fatima's not real. Don't try and find her on LinkedIn, which people do. This is a fictional person. So let's have a look. On the left, we've got Fatima. Fatima's a regional sales manager. Okay, that's what Fatima does. But when she's optimized her LinkedIn profile, she's changed it so that she's a sales development leader scaling global business development teams to deliver quality inbound and outbound pipeline to closers. Version B has been tailored towards her clients and recruiters. She's using powerful language. She's setting out her expertise. She's going to be liking relevant content that shows she's demonstrating her expertise and is helping her to stand out from similar profiles. So rather than just saying, I'm a regional sales manager, Fatima is saying what she does and what she can do for your team. You'll notice as well on the one on the right, the optimized, she's opened herself up to open to job opportunities, which means she'll appear in recruiters' job searches on LinkedIn. The difference here between the one on the left, which many of us have, just as simple, this is what I do, this is one sentence about what I do. The one on the right, it's been very much more focused in on what she can do, what she has done, the results driven, what she can do for your team, open to job opportunities, and the about section has been optimized. The one on the right is far more informative to us if we're on LinkedIn than the one on the left. We get a real feel about Fatima on the one on the right. Okay, just checking in on any questions. I know it's very quiet in the chat, so I will crack on with this next section, which is building your brand online. So our second part, we're going to look at a framework for building a personal brand online to all the people watching. So to build our brand, we are going to start with a clear goal, target audience, and a content plan. Thinking about ourselves as a brand rather than a business. I'm a digital marketer. I work with lots of businesses building brands, but we're just applying a lot of these concepts now to us as individuals. So, in other words, what do you want to achieve? Who do you need to engage with to achieve it? And what are you going to share online to get those people interested in your brand? First of all, you need to decide your goal. What are you doing this for? Why are you building a personal brand? A goal should contain something you can track. So, are you looking to find new job opportunities? Are you looking to grow your followers? Are you looking to find new clients? Are you self-employed and you want clients? Are you unemployed or you're fed up in your work and you want some new job opportunities? Or are you thinking, do you know what? I want to grow my social media following because I want to be an influencer. I want to build those connections and that collaborate with other brands. So what is your goal? Why are you here? What is it about personal brand you want to do? So thinking about that, how are you going to then define your goal? So we've got an example here. You can complete this sentence. You can complete it on a piece of paper. You can complete it and share it in the chat. If you can do it right now, that would be amazing. But we suggest you write, I want to present myself online like blank because I want to blank. So, for example, you might say, I want to present myself online like a digital marketing expert because I want to get more speaking gigs. You might decide that's your goal. That's why you want to build your brand. And then we want to say, I will know I've been successful when. So this is my goal. How am I going to know when I've achieved it? We need to be able to measure it. We need to know when we've got there. So I want to present myself online like a digital marketing expert because I want to get more speaking gigs. I will know I've been successful when I've been signed up to speak at 3 events. I'm the keynote speaker at the next amazingly great big marketing conference. It can be as big or as small as you like, but it's a goal that you want to be able to set out to achieve. So the more detail, the better. So you might want to find new job opportunities as a chef near Liverpool. Find a new job. Find new job opportunities in what? Where? So as a chef near Liverpool. If your goal is to find more followers, what kind of followers? What people do you want to grow a community of? So this person must be a woodwind, an oboe player. They want to find more followers of oboe enthusiasts. Very niche community going on there. Or if you want to find new clients, where? What? Find new clients to buy your pottery aprons. So thinking about the detail, why do you want to find more followers? What sort of clients do you want to find? What sort of job opportunities and where do you want to find? So it could be, I'd like to get more followers of my digital marketing LinkedIn profile by publishing social media best practice to small businesses who have no social media presence. give ourselves a goal, because, you know, if we give ourselves a goal, we're more likely to achieve it. We're giving ourselves something to work towards. The next key thing we need to do is to think, who do we want to talk to? Who's our target audience? So every business has a target audience, their ideal customers they want to sell to. We need to think about a target audience for our personal brand as well. So who do you need to reach? How can you engage with them? So it'd be fantastic for us if you can share with us in the chat who your target audience is, what your goals are. So who do you need to reach to make your goal come true? So if I wanted to be, I'm a digital marketing expert, I want to get more speaking gigs, who would my target audience be? Probably people who are arranging events, other thought leaders in the digital marketing industry, businesses that have influence in marketing, marketing agencies. I'd want to be producing content, and I want to be talking to these people because they're the ones who could ultimately, hopefully, get me the speaking gigs. So who do you need to reach to make your goal come true? There's a way we can build out our target audience. And we do this with businesses as well. So it's no different. It's called, in business, creating a user pen portrait or a customer profile. And it's similar in this respect. We need to understand who we're talking to, because the more we know about someone or this group of people we want to reach, the easier it is to find them, to reach them, and to make sure that our message resonates with them. Building a personal brand online, essentially marketing ourselves. We're not marketing a product, we're marketing ourselves. And the essence of marketing is getting the right message to the right person at the right time. And it's no different here. So we know what our kind of message is going to be, but who's the right person? So write down on a piece of paper. I mean, I'm a big fan of pencil and paper. Scribble down all these ideas. What age are the people you're talking to? What's gender? What location do they live in? Is it worldwide? Is it local to you? Is it just in your own country? Where do they hang out online? You know, are they on Instagram, TikTok? Are they Facebook people? Are they off on Twitter? Where are they? We need to know where they are so we can reach them there as well. What do they like? What don't they like? What do they read? What do they care about? What are their pain points? What worries them? What do they spend their money on? What brands do they buy? The more detail you can write down about this person, and it's a sort of fictional representation of the ideal target audience. But the more detail we can get down, the more relevant and engaging our personal brand can be. So if we go back to the woodwind oboe player, if I wanted to build a community of oboe enthusiasts, my target audience would start off with being oboe players, classical music fans, and maybe people who visit the orchestra and who enjoy going out to events. So I could research information about the classical music industry to find out more on who'd be interested in oboes. I might decide the age that I want to talk to. Maybe it's 40 to 60-year-olds. I might find out that going to visit the orchestra is really expensive, so my target audience has a disposable income. This would inform the kind of person I'm talking to. Because if we try and put out a really bland message on our social media or anywhere online, that's kind of really generic and speaking to everyone, it's really not going to resonate with anyone. So we need to be laser focused on who we're talking to, because then we're more likely to connect with people that we want to connect with. And that does mean that our message isn't going to resonate with everyone. And that's okay, because we just want our message to speak to our target audience. How do you find your target audience? We're creating this ideal vision of who they might be, but where are they? So if you've already got a social media presence on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, for example, there's lots of tools you can use to see who's interacting with your content. There's social media insights. If you've got business profiles, use these insights on Facebook, use these insights on Instagram. They will tell you where the people who are engaging with your accounts come from. They will tell you how old they are. They'll tell you your interests. So you can start actually getting data from actual real life people to help build your ideal audience. And you will tend to find that there's going to be a majority of a similar demographic. You'll also be able to find out on some of these social media platforms when they're online, when are they engaging with your content. So social media gives us lots of data and analytics that we can use. That's a good jumping off point. There's lots of analytics on different websites. If you've got your own website, you may be using analytics there. And if you have got your own website and you're not sure about using analytics, make sure you check out our analytics webinar as well for more on using data. Other tools you can use, there's Audience Finder. This is a good starting off point as it offers UK-based analytics for the cultural landscape. So that's particularly useful if you're hoping to run events. You have got your Page Insights on Instagram. You've got LinkedIn People Search. So LinkedIn has got a really powerful people search tool, which helps you to look for people based on their age, location, the company they work at, their job title, their skills. So then once you identify key people, you can connect with them, you can add them to your network, you can start commenting on their content. So that's highly recommended if you want to find an audience of potential employees or employers, people that you want to, what's your ideal job? Find the people who work in those companies, work in those jobs, and start commenting on their posts. Start engaging with their content. Don't just jump in cold and connect with them. Actually start having some engagement with their accounts. It's a really good tool to check out. There's also specialist platforms out there. You might know some for your own industry. We've got a few here. So say your goal was to meet fellow writers. You might want to go to find where writers are looking to meet up. Is there a specific platform that you could go to meet where writers hang out? What about if you're selling arts and crafts or homemade jewelry? Where are people looking to buy homemade jewelry? Sites like Etsy or Not on the High Street, specialist platforms that sell arts and crafts. If you're looking to find building contracts, where do the people who need building work or to hire building contractors hang out? Find where these people are and let's meet them there. If you're looking for freelance jobs, maybe you want to go and find the freelance websites. There's Upwork, People Per Hour, various freelance sites where you can connect with people who are looking for what you're providing. What you want to do is choose platforms where your audience is most engaged. And yes, it might be social media, and that's okay, but it's not always social media. Think about forums and groups and place websites which are geared up to specific niche industries. I mentioned this earlier in terms of celebrities and how you might describe them, but thinking back to your own personal brand, have a look at this list. I'll keep it up for a little bit. Choose 3 words that represent your brand personality. Now, you might have words that aren't on this list, but do share them with us in the chat. We're looking for words that represent your personal brand. It's easier if you can pick, just say 3 adjectives, because then they can give a really good summary of what you're all about. Are you joyful and trustworthy and wise? Are you entrepreneurial, professional, and serious? See, if I put those words together, it starts already creating a picture of what your personal brand might be like. So back to Fatima. Fatima, here we're looking at her profile and we're looking at her handle first of all. So your handle, the bit with the @ is another name for your username, your name online. So consider using your own name or a clear summary of interest. Make your handle unique, easy to remember, and avoid using numbers. So if your name is already taken, you might want to do what Fatima has and have an underscore. So Fatima_Allen. Or maybe you want to add your middle name or middle initial. So try not to have symbols and numbers if you can help it at all. Then we're looking at your profile biography. So think back to those 3 words that you'll choose to describe you. This is the kind of message and feel and brand voice we want to communicate in this profile. So your bio or your profile should summarize what you offer. It should summarize your expertise, and it should tell your audience what you want them to do. So let's have a look at Fatima's. So customer service manager from Manchester, interested in content marketing opportunities. Open University graduate in English literature, regular contributor to BuzzFeed and HuffPost community, and then new ideas or opportunities, email Fatima. I won't read out her whole email address, but you get the idea. That's her bio. Let's just go through and dissect that a bit and cover each element. So Fatima is a customer service manager from Manchester, interested in content marketing opportunities. That is Fatima's offer. What is your offer? Then we've got Open University graduate in English literature, regular contributor to BuzzFeed and HuffPost community. Fatima here is showcasing her expertise. She's a graduate in English literature. That links well with content marketing. She's a regular contributor to BuzzFeed and HuffPost community. Again, that would be of interest to anyone looking for content marketing professionals. That's showcasing the results that Fatima's had already, the experience she's already gained. And then Fatima's told her audience what she wants them to do. She wants them to email her. New ideas or opportunities, email Fatima. That's really important. You'll notice brands do that. They'll say, buy here, sign up, whatever it is. They're telling us, they're giving us actions to do. We want to do that with our personal brand as well, because when we're online, we think, we know what we're doing and we're looking online. But actually, we like to be pointed in the right direction. We like to be told what to do next. If we didn't have the call to action there, we might go, oh, right, yeah, Fatima's interested in content marketing and she's done this, and that's amazing. Oh, I don't know if she wants anyone to contact her. But actually, Fatima's saying, yeah, contact me here. Now, content comes into creating a personal brand as well. It has a very strong role. Your biography is the first thing people read when they arrive on your profile, wherever it might be. So people read that, but then they carry on and look at your content. You want to make sure the content you're sharing is consistent with the goals and values you've described elsewhere. It has the same voice, it has the same feel, it has the same motivations to it. Content consistency builds trust, and that's the style of content you create, but it's also how often you create content. So let's have a look at some examples. So thinking about your handle, your name that appears online, we've got 3 photos here with different handles. So we could have a look at these handles and guess what the business is about. So that health doctor, picture of healthy food. I'm thinking that health doctor is all about a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating. It comes across very well. Yeah. John bread maker, picture of kneading dough. I think that's an account about bread making. John probably makes bread. I think that's pretty clear. But what about that business one? And business one, middle one. Told you I can't speak today. The middle one, I love cakes, do you? Is that about music? Because there's a picture of a guy playing a guitar. Or is it about cakes? Because it says I love cakes. We don't know. It's not clear. It's not consistent. The handle isn't consistent with the image. We need this clear messaging. We need to be able to look at something right away and understand what it's about. And this is the same actually with any social media account or website. I go to lots of business websites. I mentor lots of small businesses. When you arrive at a website, I need to know what you do. I don't need to be made to hunt around. I want to arrive at a website and it be very clear in the imagery and the messaging what that website's about, what that social media page is about. So this is true for your personal brand as well. Does the name that you're showing and the image reflect what it is you're about? It's the same on LinkedIn. Sometimes you'll see on LinkedIn a person's name, fine, that's their handle. But then you might see a picture of them, I don't know, on holiday with their family. That doesn't link with that professional network unless they are, I don't know, a family blogger or someone who works in the family industry on holiday. I don't know, it might match then, but make sure that the image you're putting across on your profiles matches people's expectations. And we've got an example, again, we're back to Sheena here on Instagram. This is an example of an influencer profile following best practice. So relevant photo showing who Sheena is, relevant handle, Sheena's name, and then the content reflecting the offering. Now, if we go up to her bio, her offering is she's a London vegan recipe creator. Get my cookbook now. Call to action right there. And then saying what she's into and find me on YouTube. So strong, clear profile, what she's about, and the content reflects that Sheena's living that vegan life. So you can see the offer, you can see the expertise, you can see the call to action all clearly outlined, and all of the elements of the profile point back to the content or links in with the profile and the bio. So obviously not right this second because you might not have time, but think about your handle. What's your name look like? And then step one, what skills and strengths and experience do you want to highlight? So thinking back to Fatima's example, what is it about you that you want to highlight? What experience have you got that you want to bring in? And then what does your target audience want to hear? So this is what I'm about, but this is what my audience wants to hear about. Sometimes what we want to shout about isn't necessarily what people want to hear. That's why we need to understand who our target audience is. Because if we understand what their pain points are, what their motivations are, then we can say the stuff that's going to hit home and resonate with them. So I'm not going to sit here for 4 minutes for you to write your bio, but we're saying it can take you 4 minutes to write a good bio. So after this session, sit down, take a look at these steps and see if you can create a bio that says what you're about, highlights your experience, and also resonates with what your audience wants to hear. No questions. I'm going to crack on to the final part, which is about increasing your online visibility. We want people to find us. We put all this effort into creating a profile and a bio and great imagery. We want people to find us online. So how do you get more visible? And in this instance, we're going to look at LinkedIn. Make sure your profile is completed. Recruiters on LinkedIn use a product called Recruiter, which allows them to search by job title, location, and skills. So if you complete your profile and make sure you use all the space available to you, when they search for someone with your skills and experience, you're more likely to show up. Same goes for Facebook, same goes for Instagram. The more information you've got about your brand there, the more likely you're going to appear in a search. So make sure everything's up to date. Make sure you ask for recommendations from people that you've worked with before. Remember, I talked about reviews. Reviews are important. We need people to recommend us. LinkedIn, you can actually ask for recommendations from people you've worked with before. And you can also give recommendations and endorse people, which is a really great thing to do because you are actually going out there and endorsing people for skills they've got. They're a powerful tool in shaping your brand. Link to other profiles if relevant. So you could backlink to your social media profiles if you want to showcase them here, videos or websites, anything that adds credibility to your achievements. How else do you grow your network? Post high quality content. So this might seem obvious, but this is more crucial than ever. You can't just get away with posting a bland, boring piece of content. How noisy is it out there? How many thousands of messages are we getting online every day? Yeah, it's exhausting. So we want to make sure the message that we're sending, the content we're putting is content that's going to interest people. It's going to be high quality. It's going to give them value. So to be heard above all the other noise, find your unique voice. How are you different from everything else out there? How are you different from your competitors? Give this serious thought. Could be amazing photos, could be thought-provoking captions. What is it about you that you can show that will make them want to come back for more? A good rule of thumb is every time you post something, put yourselves in the shoes of your buyer persona, that target audience, and ask, if I was them, would I share it? Think about on social media the stuff that when you're scrolling on your phone, what makes you stop? What captures your attention? What is it that makes you stop? What makes you comment? What makes you share? Because if it does for you, it's likely for your target audience as well. Make sure you connect with your audience. This is what it's all about at the end of the day, LinkedIn, social media. Respond to comments, even if you're just saying thank you. That's a really simple way to make your brand appear more human and personable and approachable. Comment on other people's posts and content and images. Be authentic, take part in the conversation. Many of the successful brands on Instagram rely on compelling stories to connect with their audience, whether that's sharing a photo accompanied by a caption or little snippets of tips and historical facts or whatever it might be about their brand, behind the scenes, a little glance of the company. There's numerous ways you can story tell on Instagram. Just make sure that everything you post is aligned with your brand's values and mission. Be consistent. So according to Buffer, major brands post an average of 1.5 times a day to Instagram. You don't need to post that often, but posting consistently is important. You don't want to be someone who posts loads of content and then nothing. Better to say, okay, I'm going to post 3 times a week and keep up that momentum. Oops, just moved on too quickly there. So think about everything you post in consistency, the timing, but also the look and feel of your post, the captions, the filters, the angles, the colors, the style. Develop your own unique visual identity so that when someone sees your post, they go, oh yeah, that was an Alison post, or whatever your personal brand is. Post regularly. As I said, you don't have to post every day. Ideally, you could post once a day because that will increase your chances of being seen. Posting 2 to 5 times a day is amazing, but if that's overwhelming, try and post once a day. But really, it's what's achievable and manageable for you to remain consistent, because sometimes we start off very enthusiastic, but it's difficult to maintain. Moving on to growing your network. How can you grow this online network? Well, I mentioned this before, but make sure you comment and respond and react to other people's profiles. It's called social media for a reason. We need to be social. We need to be not just talking about ourselves, but also talking with other people. So you can easily increase your exposure by choosing other pages in your niche or with a similar audience to yours and comment on posts on their page. The other audience will see your page in the comments and possibly connect with you. Twitter found when a business responds to someone who tweeted at them, people are more willing to spend money with that brand in the future. In fact, they would be willing to spend 20% more based on that interaction. So actually responding and engaging with our audience can have a really positive effect. Be visual, use images, use video. An image takes up more space on a news feed, and an interesting image can spark more likes and comments and shares. Then when more people are engaging with your content, more people will see your content. So let's take up as much real estate on the screen as we can. Use images, use videos, capture attention. And use networking tools to connect. Find thought leaders in your network and in your industry. Find interesting and relevant content that you can share with your audience, increasing that other person's exposure as well. There's various tools you can use. You can use Feedly, which will help you select topics that interest you and show you a curated feed of content that you'll be able to share. Pocket lets you add any topic from your browser or content apps to read later. Bookmark stuff you see, share it later. Curate a collection of content that you can share with your audience that you know will be of value to them. And that's going to cut down the effort you have on having to create content constantly from scratch as well. So make sure you're using these networking tools to connect, but also to find other content you can share with your audience, which in turn will help you build your audience. Find new opportunities. These tips we've just outlined can apply to brands in both business and personal sense. So if you're a job seeker looking to make a brand for yourself, how can this translate to you? Well, more followers can mean more credibility. It can help build trust. It can lead to better opportunities. If people know you exist, they're more likely to think of you when they actually have an opportunity come up. I'm a freelancer. I get all of my opportunities pretty much through my LinkedIn network now. I'm visible on there. I'm posting content and people say, oh, I saw that on LinkedIn. Can you help with this? It actually does translate into real life work. Make sure you create shareable content for your brand. So we want to create content that showcases what we're about, that communicates our personal brand. We want it to be shareable because particularly on social media, it's great if someone looks at our post. It's better if someone likes our post. It's better if someone comments on our post, but best of all is someone shares our post because then they're getting more reach and we haven't even had to do anything. So how do we create content that we know people are going to want to share? Easier said than done, but we've got some tips. So images are really important. Images with your updates. Look at this on Twitter. Updates that had images had 150% more retweets. And photos of people's faces get more likes. So we actually like to engage with faces. We like to see faces, and because we can connect, it humanizes things with the other people. Also, when you're writing posts, make sure it's clear, concise, and friendly. So we need to make sure that, well, in particular on Facebook and Instagram, they're deprioritizing pages from newsfeed and prioritizing interaction and conversation. So it's about being human. It's about interacting as people. It's super important to stay up to date with social media platforms and how their algorithm changes, because they change all the time how they prioritize content. So what works today might not work as well in a few months' time. So keep up to date with what's going on. Follow marketing and social media blogs. There's Think with Google, which will give you updates. Follow product pages. That every social platform has its own blog. I know Facebook does, TikTok, LinkedIn. Follow those blogs for updates. Get it straight from the horse's mouth. There's also HubSpot's a really good resource for blogs on digital marketing, because you want to stay up to date in what's going on in this very fast moving realm of social media to make sure you've got the best chance of being found. You want to develop your own look and feel for your personal brand. So think about the images you share. Think about creating consistent look and feel. So there's loads of apps out there, loads of them, apps like Visco or Photoshop that can help make your images look consistent. It could just be down to choosing the same filter on your TikTok or Instagram every time you post. Don't stage your photos too much. Don't make them look fake. We want authenticity. Look for moments or achievements in your day or week that represent or reflect who you'd like to represent, what you'd like to talk about, and who would be interested in seeing them. When you are taking images, and try and take your own images, use natural light. Oops. Oh, I'm going all over the place, aren't I? Be interactive. We want to encourage engagement. So all these features like polls and stories are really good for getting engagement from your audience. So we ask people questions. What do you think about this? Do you like this or that? Shall I do this or that next? Stories are a really good way, using, say, Instagram story features, all sorts of polls and interactive features on there that you can take advantage of. In terms of posts, put interesting posts out, keep them short. Nobody's got time to read loads of amounts of text, so keep them manageable to read and concise on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Try live streaming. Have you tried Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, Twitch? Really engaging, and the social platforms love live streams. So if you have got a stream, you've gone live, they'll inform your followers. It's a bit scary. I mean, I'm doing it right now. It's a little bit daunting, especially when you haven't done it before, but it's really good for engagement. And viewers love live video above any other type. So have a go. And it is over to you. So have a think, what kind of content is going to appeal to your target audience? Think about these different types of content. What are they going to engage with? Think about what platforms they're on and what content works well there. What message do you want to communicate with your target audience? So what is it you're trying to say, and what do they want to hear? And then what's your visual look and feel? So what is it about your personal brand that's going to differentiate yourself from anyone else? These are the three key elements that you need to think about in terms of your personal brand content creation. And we're back to our final round of questions, and I can see there are no questions in the chat. I will just double check. Samantha is saying no questions, so that's fine. I am going to wrap up as I'm out of time. Have a think about what your next steps will be. Do check out the further training on the link on the bottom of the description below. That will take you through to training you can do 24/7, plus our other webinars. So really good ones to link in with this: are writing for social media strategy, digital marketing strategy. So do check them out if you haven't already. Don't forget about the free one-to-one mentoring available from Google. This is for UK-based small businesses and charities. You're going to get an hour together with a Google Digital Garage coach like myself or Samantha. Sign up at g.co/UK mentoring. And I'm going to wrap up because I'm out of time. I hope you found that a useful dive into build your personal online brand today. Do check out that further training. We love feedback, so do go and leave us some feedback at goo.gle/digital garage feedback, and Go on social media, talk about the Digital Garage, hashtag Digital Garage to share your experience on the webinar today and share what you're doing. Share the training you're doing. Share how you're developing your skills for the Digital Garage and use the hashtag to let everybody know the kind of message that you might want to communicate from your personal brand. But I do want to wrap up and thank everyone for joining today. Thank you to Samantha for being fabulous. And we look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session soon. Have a great day.